Hey, what's up guys? UrAvgWarGamer back with another review of Tier 10 American Battleship, which is in the Tech Tree line, and you can grind Vermont. Vermont is a Tier 10 battleship, and this is the newest line that Wargaming released to grind for free. And you can play it by just simply grinding that line, which consists of Kansas, Minnesota, and then of course the Vermont. You have to go from the Colorado line though, which leads to the Montana line. That is his smaller brother, I would say, compared to Vermont. Vermont is now in the line of a bigger brother because of its key differences compared to the American battleship, the Tier 10 of course, the Montana, which is quite old line in the game. And you can still grind it of course if you have not. But I will feature this ship because this ship has its unique strengths, it has uniqueness, it has its strengths, and of course it has its very vulnerable weaknesses that I will talk about in this review. Now Vermont is having access to 12 guns like the Montana, 12 of them, but it has its key differences compared to Montana. The Montana has 406mm guns, which are also 12 of them, with 30 seconds of reload time, whereas Vermont have 40 seconds of reload time, a lot slower, but have 457mm guns that are really crazy good in my opinion. The Montana with 406mm guns does not have access, or I would say able to overmatch 30mm of plating, which you will find in various cruisers at this tier. I'm talking about the ships like Hindenburg, the Zao, the Des Moines, the Salem, and a couple of more ships, etc. But of course there are few exceptions, like of course Russian battleships in general, which have this 50mm deck like Stalingrad, as you are seeing in the game. It is able to bounce the shells, but Vermont, unlike Montana, can penetrate. Yikes, that salvo is pretty damn good, 34k salvo. So this is the gimmick of course of the Vermont I will talk about in a bit. So Vermont, the guns feels like extremely powerful. They have this 30mm overmatch and they can deliver devastating salvos. The only reason why I would say this is unlike Montana, Vermont has this better dispersion, 1.95 sigma, which basically explains, or basically the sigma is basically about the grouping under that dispersion ellipse. So the better the sigma, the better the accuracy in general. In a simple way I would say, if a Vermont has 1.95 sigma compared to Montana's 1.9, Vermont in general will be able to land more shells into the center of that dispersion ellipse that you cannot of course see. But Vermont also have this very nasty alpha damage. I think it's the second best alpha damage if I'm not wrong, 15.750. I mean 15k alpha damage you're talking about. So that is a pretty juicy. And when you have 12 of these shells, even though they are slow, but when you hit them, they hit like an absolute truck. Of course, Vermont guns are its bread and butter, or I would say it's a very important strength that will make it shine against almost all the targets. If there are cruisers like 30mm plating, then they have to fear from Vermont, because they can actually, Vermont can actually one of the battleship that can one-shot a cruiser broadside extremely easily without any issue, as you will see one particular salvo that I will throw on Hindenburg in this game. So I will have devastating strike, which kinda explain that fact. Of course, it doesn't mean that Montana is bad, or I would say power crap. Montana, unlike Vermont, have a better access to heal, even though the heal reload is still 80 seconds like Vermont, but Montana can heal 0.66 HP per second, whereas Vermont has standard heal like a lot of battleships. As simple as that. So Vermont does not heal crazy like Conqueror, or it is even not better than Montana. So it's pretty normal in this department. But the guns are extremely accurate, and you also, of course, in American battleships use the dispersion mod on slot 6, which means 11% dispersion increase can help Vermont guns to be even more better. And of course Montana also gets the benefit, but then there is a Sigma that cashing in and helps the Vermont in some ways. Apart from the Vermont's gun strengths, which you can see right now deliver devastating salvos, it has one more strength that you will see in the game. That is its anti-aircraft suit. The anti-aircraft of the AA of these guns are actually pretty good, and it gets even better because this is the only Tech 3 battleship as of now that have access to defensive AA. Yes, I am pretty sure that there is no other Tech 3 ship, at least Tech 3 ship in the game, in Battleship, that has access to defensive AA. But this line, this whole three ships, Kansas, Minnesota, Vermont, have access to defensive AA, which means they are better, I would say, against anti-air, like the planes, the attack planes or rocket planes or torpedoes, than compared to other Tech 3 ships. Montana is not bad, but Vermont is better against defensive AA capabilities, in defensive AA capabilities. Talking about the 30mm plating that I just talked about in like a couple of minutes ago, the Hindenburg is a very juicy target if you show broadside, and you will see when you aim well, you will deliver a devastating blow. He is dead if you aim well. And when I say this, and if your dispersion is good, you will get devastating strike. It is pretty simple. You deleted it. There's nothing else I would need to add. But the thing is, Vermont alpha damage, the dispersion means that these German battleships that have this turtleback armor, which makes them resistant to citadel, they will take probably 30,000, sometimes even 35,000 damage on basically full broadside. And if your dispersion is really juicy, you will see insane damage. So that's how you can delete ships in this ship. You can delete literally the ships. I'm not talking about battleships. Battleship can be clearly like chunked off hard, but cruisers can be easily deleted in Vermont.
All stations requesting fire.
So I just covered out the guns. The guns I feel are better than Montana, of course, because of their overmatch capabilities. But there is one more thing on the guns, that is that it actually has better dispersion, better penetration, the gun penetration than Montana itself, because of course a lower caliber gun, so it will have lower penetration. But it also have better penetration for some reason compared to Vermont. Compared to Ohio, that premium battleship that is also American one. So you have even better penetration than Ohio, which is actually the popular ship around the player base. It's also a very decent ship, but that's another topic right now. I just want to focus on Vermont. Vermont, as you can see, I've been trying hard to snipe here and there and all that stuff. Like, I didn't take a single damage. It's just because I am playing either sniping, or I either play as a sniper, or either I'm playing kind of a passive, because this ship eats a lot of damage. It has, I feel, very weird armor scheme. Now, this is its weakness. I'm talking right now particular weakness of Vermont. Vermont has kind of a weird armor. I would say I can compare it to Yamato, Musashi sort of armor. Like Musashi and Yamato, for example, the Aijin battleships have these weak cheeks, right? Like they can take some weird damage if you just hit on their weak spots.
The ship is on
Vermont also is kinda feels like this, and Vermont is never a happy person, or never a happy ship when you take a lot of damage. It is not easy to play when you are in a bad spot, and it is not easy to disengage when you are slightly, like just slightly overextended because of the speed. Talking about the speed, Vermont speed is actually the slowest speed in the game. The Vermont speed
Anti-aircraft
is a
gun
max
crews are on full
around
alert.
24.1 with the speed flag, which is one of the slowest, which is basically the slowest battleship. Simple as that. For example, Yamato and Musashi is like 27 to 28 knots, and Ohio, the premium American battleship, also has 28 knot speed or 29 knot speed, around these similar numbers. But Vermont sits at 24 knots, which is pretty slow, man. And in this meta, you really require to reposition yourself over and over again because of insane HE spammers like Smolensk, Boosters, and Colberts, and you will, always have to make sure that you don't get farmed to death just because of your speed. The best way to play the Vermont is to play the ship as a sniper. If you are good in sniping, this ship is really good in that. I got, in this case, Stalingrad was full broadside, and because of the snowstorm, it messes up with your dispersion. You didn't able to depth struck, which is kind of sad. I don't know why, but yeah, it's really weird. The thing about the Vermont, it's the guns are amazing.
Anti-aircraft gun
I would
crews
say
are
they
on
are
full
probably the best guns at tier 10 that you can have in Tech 3 line. I'm talking about Hunger. Hunger is an entirely different ship. OMG, man, this person, man. Oof, 25k. If you see, it's only 7 shells. Imagine if those shells, all of them, hit on its armor. That would be 35k to 40k salvo. I'm sure of that. It could be around similar values. So, Vermont in a nutshell. Strengths. I'm gonna talk about the strengths again. Excellent guns,
Anti-aircraft gun
longer
crews are
range,
on
very
normal
good
alert.
penetration, unlike Montana, and close range, it struggles in brawling, so you wanna play it as sniper. That's the strength. Okay, another strength is extremely good defensive AA, like the anti-air suit, which means and because you have access to defensive AA consumable, which means you can actually prevent tier 8 carrier strikes, but it's still not enough to stop the strikes of tier 10. But at least ships like carriers like Hakuryu, Midway, Audacious, they can only drop you maybe once or twice when you have defensive AA turned on. But there is exception, and don't think that you will be completely free of the carriers mess. No, there is FTR, which I already viewed like a couple of days ago, that can still mess up your ship entirely because it has probably the most stupidest tanky planes in the game. So yeah, good luck with that. Overall, Vermont is a very good package. You see, in this entire game, I've been sniping here and there. By the way, guys, I think I was not full HP. This is literally a bug, and that's why I'm not getting those achievements. And this bug is also bugging off my HP. it can't be full. I already take so much damage. So yeah, that's really a replay bug, which I can't do anything of. It's just how it is. Anyways, you can see this game I did 244k damage, tank 1.3 million potential, which is not bad but could be better. But you don't want to tank this ship like bow in the first place. It's good in just kiting and just angling those shells that are coming towards you. Don't try to tank directly, man. No battleship is very good and capable of that except maybe Kremlin. because it has very different armor scheme and one of the most tankiest armor scheme in the game. So Vermont is not even close in terms of armor compared to Kremlin. But Vermont guns on the other hand are entirely different kind of beast. They are really powerful. And when I say it's powerful, you have to play it yourself to find it how much they are good. They can capable of delivering devastating strikes, and I have did like multiple times in this ship. Cripple down the battleships, not a problem. Killing out the cruisers in one shot, not a problem. Vermont is best in doing that. But if you are in this situation like I am in this game, then it is absolutely rough to deal against. There's just no way you can do anything. There's just no way. You won't be able to disengage and you will die instantly. And that's the problem of Vermont in general. The disengage, if you're not able to use the islands or just go behind the islands, and if you're not able to move quickly to position yourself well, you will have hard time in Vermont. So play it as a sniper and you will do pretty well, because that's how the meta wargaming coming up with. The commander skill reworks of course gonna change a whole lot of things. I think they will give even better dispersion to the Vermont, just because you can put marksman skill. That is coming with the commander skills, of course, changes of course. Is it for then the verdict, is it overpowered, or is it good, or is it bad? I would say it is not overpowered, but it is better than good. I would say it's a very good ship to grind, and it fits perfectly in the meta. I'm not gonna lie, if you want to play sniper, this is very good. Very good ship to begin with, and it does at least have some ability to engage with aircraft carriers, and you can shut down some planes. Don't expect much though. Carrier can still wreck you if you are really trying to be out of your position. But apart from that, it feels a very strong ship, very good sniper, and I highly recommend it to grind. That's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you into the next video. Peace out.